Hey everybody, now we're going to go back to our lesson number 14, and on this one the triangle we're given looks like this, and we've got 10 degrees is this angle, and this is little a, so that means that's capital A, and this is capital C, and this is 5, and this one is 5 degrees, and that's B. So again, there's your triangle. You've got two very, very small angles. You've got a 5-degree angle across from B, you've got a 10-degree angle across from A, and then there's C, and then there's the number 5. So notice some of these are given pictures, some of these are given information. So what we're going to start with is like before, where we say A equal, B equals, C equal, A equal, B equals, C equal. And what we know is this was A, which was 10 degrees. And if that was little b, then this is capital B, and that's 5 degrees. And that's capital C, so this is little c, and it's 5. So the first thing we're going to want to do is find this angle. This is a angle, side, angle case. Angle, side, angle case, because 5, 5, and 10. So our first step would be find the third angle if at all possible. And so, of course, we do 10 plus 5 is 15. 180 minus 15 is 165. And now that we have that, we have a pair of information with the 165 and the 5. So this is our pair. And so based on that, we're going to do our C's together as sine 165 over 5 equal, with the A, it would be sine 10 over A. So here you're going to cross multiply. So you're going to do A equal 5 times sine 10 divided by sine 165. So just like normal, cross multiply. So if you wanted to, you could have said A sine 65 equal this times this, and then divided. So basically the way it always works is multiply the two that actually have numbers and divide by the third one. So multiply these and divide by that one. Okay, so again, just make sure you're in degree mode. And so we do 5 sine 10 over sine 165. And this gives us 3.354. Ignore the 6. So based on the 4, we round down and we get 3.35. Then the next thing we need to do is B. So we're going to use the C and the B information. Now, somebody may ask, well, can we use the A information with the B? I'm just going to write this as a side note. It's best not to use rounded values for the other variables. So what we want is to use the C info with the B. So we have the sine 165 over 5 equal sine 5 over B. And before we get into it a little bit more, I just remembered something you probably want to think about as you're going through these. The 165 degrees was your biggest angle, and so 5 is your longest side. So I'm just going to put biggest. And then your 5 degrees is the smallest angle, and so this would be the smallest. And then this would be the middle. In other words, if you want to, you could think small is B, medium is A, and large is C. So 5 is the longest side because 165 is our biggest angle. So whatever we get for B has to be smaller than 3.35. That's how we know we did it right. So always remember, across from the smallest angle is the smallest side. Across from the largest angle is the largest side. Okay, so now we just cross multiply. And so then we get B equal 5 sine 5 over sine 165. 5 sine 5. By the way, if you really wanted to, you could have used the degree symbol, like pressing pi, which is there, and then there's the little degree symbol down there. So if you were in radian mode, this would force it to be degrees. So 5 sine 5 over sine 165. And this gives us 1.683. And so we need to use 1.68. And that's how you know you did it right. Because we did get a smaller number for B than for A, because your 5 degrees was smaller than your 10 degrees. Okay, so again, this is the part that you need to write. That. Okay, now we skip 16 and go to number 18. And on number 18, this is the first one where they didn't draw the triangle for you. So here we need to check if it's one or two solutions, since the triangle is not drawn. Okay, so for number 18, we know we still should do our template. And what we know is A is 50 degrees, capital A. Anytime we talk about an angle, it's a capital letter. And C is 20 degrees. And we know little a is 3. So our first step is do your 50 plus 20, and you get 70. 180 minus 70 is 110. Okay, so now we have that angle. We need to think about, is it possible for two triangles if you're given two angles? Is it possible for there to be two triangles if you're given two angles? No, it's not possible, because the 50 and 20 can't change. So we know we're just going to have one triangle, and this would be our pair of information here. And so we're going to say sine, this is our A information with the B, sine of 50 over 3 equal sine 110 over B. And we're also going to do the A information with the C information. So that would be sine 50 over 3 equals sine 20 over little c. So those are the two proportions we're going to do in order to get little b and little c. So now just cross multiply and you do your 3 sine 110 over sine 50. And you're going to do 3 sine 20 over sine 50. And beyond that, you just use your calculator. Remember, if you had to, if your calculator were dead, if the calculator were dead or not available, use a website. Okay, so there I jotted down a few calculators. If your calculator was dead or not available, use the website desmos.com/calculator or calculator.com. And those links are in Google also. The main thing is make sure you're in degree mode. So again, let me push this up to here. We do 3 sine 110 degrees divide by sine 50 degrees. You get 3.680. So 3.68. So I just filled in the 3.68 there. Now based on your 20 degrees, that's going to be your small. Your 50 degrees is going to be medium. And the 110 degrees is going to be your large. So whatever number we get for C is supposed to be smaller than 3, which was also smaller than 3.68. And again, since 110 was your biggest angle, then your side had to be bigger than 3. In this case, it was just a little bit bigger, but it was bigger. So we got 3.68. And then for our next one, we're doing 3 sine 20 degrees over sine 50 degrees. Whoops. Now on my calculator, it changed it to cosine of 40. Don't worry about that. That is true. Because as we saw in a different lesson, sine of 50 is the same as cosine of 40, but what we wanted was the decimal. We get 1.339, so 1.34. 1.34. And so that'd be your problem. So 1.34 was indeed smaller than 3 because 20 degrees was smaller than 50 degrees. Okay, our next one is number 22, I believe. Yeah, 22. So on 22, we have A equal B equals C equal A equal B equals C equal. And what we're given is B is 10 degrees and C is 100 degrees. And we also know that little b is 2. Okay, so now on this one we know there's one triangle, not two, based on these. And you do 100 plus 10 is 110, and then you get 70. So 70 degrees. And B is the pair of information. That's your pair. So we're basically going to do B with A. It doesn't matter if you have A or B first. The only reason I'm putting B first is that's my pair. It just makes sense. So sine 10 over 2 equal sine 70 with A. So we're going to do 2 sine 70 over sine 10. And for the other one, we're going to do B with C. Let's go ahead and get this number because I think somebody may accidentally forget to write it. 2 times sine 70 degrees divided by sine 10 degrees. And you'd get 10.82. So 10.82. The other thing I forgot to mention was small, medium, large. Because 10 degrees is small, 70 is medium, and 100 is large. And so your 2 had to be your smallest side. 10.82 is our medium side, so C has to be bigger than that. So for your B, we get sine 10 over 2 equals sine 100 over C. 2 sine 100 over sine 10. 2 sine 100 over sine 10. Oops. Okay, so you get 11.34 and so 11.34. And so once again, this is bigger than the 10.82, so we know we did it right. Okay, so that's number 22. Now we have certain ones we need to do. Let me go back to the instructions. 24, 26. So 24. On 24, these say two sides and an angle are given. And triangle's not drawn, and it wants to know, is it one triangle, two triangles, or none, and the answers for all the unknowns. So on 24, 24 was back on the other page. Okay, let me go back. 24 is our next one. Yeah. We've got A, B, and C. These instructions are really for the next page. My bad. Okay, so 24 has B equal 20 degrees, C equals 70 degrees, and A is 1. Okay, so on this one we know it's one triangle because we've got two angles given, and then 20 plus 70 is 90, 180 minus 90 is 90. And so then we need to do our pair of information with the A. Sine 90 over 1 equals sine 20 over B. So we're going to multiply 1 times sine 20 and get sine 20 and divide by sine 90. So sine 20 divided by sine 90. Yes, that's a 9. Sine 20 degrees divided by, whoops, let's put that over here. Divide by sine 90 degrees. And this gives you 0.342, so 0.34. It's a small number. We are in degree mode. And if 1 was our biggest side, then not surprised that this is smaller. Again, we can go small, medium, large. You want the pizza reference. So if 1 was our largest size, then 0.34 is reasonable. And now we need to do the A information with the C information. So sine 90 over 1 equal sine 70 over C. So sine 70 over sine 90. Sine 70 over sine 90. And that gives you 0.939. We don't care about the number after that, but based on this 9 we round up. So 0.94. So again, just barely smaller than 1, and we know it's reasonable. Okay, so that's number 24. Again, for the next instructions, we need 2 sides and an angle are given, and 26. This one is, start with the template always. Start with little b is 4, and little c is 3, and capital B is 40 degrees. So this is the first time only one angle is given. And so this is still your pair of information, and we're going to go with the C. So sine 40 over 4 equals sine C over 3. So now cross multiply. You have 4 sine C equal 3 sine 40. So divide by 4, would give you 3 sine 40 over 4. Now this this is solved like we did earlier in a different chapter and section. We basically need to do the inverse sine in order to get the angle. So 3 sine 40 over 4, you could say 3/4 sine 40. And again, make sure you're in degree mode. So we're doing trig sine -1, 3 sine 40 over 4. This gives us 28.82, and so that's 28.8 degrees. Now that we have that, we have two angles in the triangle, and so we do 40 plus 28.8 gives us 68.8, don't round, and then do 180 minus 68.8. That gives us 112.2. So, oh my goodness, it's 111.2. 111.2. Okay, so now we just need little a, and so we're going to use the b information with the a information. So we do sine 40 over 4 equals sine 111.2 over a. So this will be like what we did earlier. A sine 40 equal 4 sine 111.2, and then divide. So 4 sine 111.2 degrees over sine 40 degrees. This gives us 5.801. So 5.80. Remember, since it's a side, we need 2 decimal places. 5.80. And again, just to double check, small, medium, large, small, medium, large. It worked out. So 5.80. Okay, so after number 26, we need to work on number 30. And on number 30, again, A equal, B equal, C equal, A equal, B equal, C equal. For number 30, you're given side length B as 2. Remember, this is the angles. These are the sides. I think you already know that, but just in case. We're given little b as 2 and little c as 3. And we're also given capital B is 40 degrees. Okay, so this is your pair of information. We can't get the angles yet, just right off the bat from subtracting, we have to use our pair of information. So we're going to use the B information with the C information. So we go sine 40 over 2, which is not sine 20, by the way. Don't make that mistake. If you really want me to emphasize it, it'll look like that. So sine 40 over 2 equal sine C over 3. So you have 2 sine C equal 3 sine 40. So there, divide by 2, and then do inverse sine. 3 sine 40 over 2. Or again, like you can say, 3/2. So we do 3 sine 40 degrees. Make sure you go outside the parentheses, then divide by 2. That gives you 0.96. Oops. So now that you have that, we need sine -1 of that. Sine -1 of this gives us 74.61. And so this would be 74.6 degrees. So earlier, just then, I typed my expression in, and then I needed to do inverse sine. So 74.6 degrees. And now that we have that, we need to get our angle A. So we do 74.6 plus 40. 114.6, and then do 180 minus 114.6. And this gives us 65.4. So that's A. Okay, so what we want to double check is how many solutions are there? Let me get the little a first, then I'll do that. So let's do the B information with the A information. Sine 40 over 2 equals sine 65.4 over little a. So A sine 40 equal 2 sine 65.4, and then divide. Two sine 65.4 degrees divided by sine 40 degrees. And we get 2.829, so 2.83. 2.83. Okay, so now what we want to do is double check for two solutions. So check for two solutions the following way. So 40 degrees was given, And our first angle computed was 74.6. So what you do is 180 minus 74.6. 180 minus 74.6. That gives you 105.4. And then do 105.4 plus 40. That gives us 145.4, which is less than 180. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yes, there's two solutions, or two triangles. So what we want next is 180 minus 145.4. 180 minus 145.4. That gives us 34.6. And so let me make a new template. A2, B2 is still what B was, which was 40. C2 is your let's see. $40 degrees was given. Our first angle found was 74.6, and so that was C1. Or you could just think C. I'm just putting a subscript 1 there. And so C2 is going to be 34.6. So B2 would be equal to little b, which was 2. So we need to use 40 and 34.6. It gives you 74.6. And then do 180 minus 74.6. Which gives you 105.4. And now we just use our B information to get little a2 and little c2. So our B with our A and our B with our C. Sine 40 over 2 equal sine 105.4 over A. And sine 40 over 2 equals sine 34.6 over C. What we're doing next is multiplying these and then dividing. So A is 2 sine 105.4 over sine 40. And in the same way, 2 sine 34.6 over sine 40. So then just use your calculator, and this is little a2 and little c2. Okay, so we get 2 sine 105.4 degrees divided by sine 40 degrees. This gives you 2.999, which is going to make us round up to 3.00. And for this one, 2 sine 34.6 divided by sine 40. 1.766, so 1.77. So in this case we go small, medium, large. This is your smallest, 2 is your medium, and this is your large. Okay, so this is considered your second solution. Second solution to number 30. And this is your first solution to 30. Again, the more you write, the more you're going to understand. There's one other thing that I need to go back to before I end this video. Just on 26, this was our one solution, and our first angle we computed was 28.8, and that was right there. So to check for two solutions, we do the following. 180 minus the first angle we found, which was 151.2, and after you subtract, and then if you take that and add to the given angle, you're going to get 191.2, which is too big, because in order for the triangle to exist, it would have to be 180 degrees. And so that means we only had one answer. Okay, that's going to be a good stopping point for that video.